this guy behind me. Oh wait, wrong hand. This guy behind me. He was on YNR, and now he's moving on, and we get to see him die a hero. His character died a hero on the show. We're so excited about that, and we won. I'm here. I interviewed him when he first came on, I was like a lifetime ago, and now we're saying farewell to him on this show. But you'll see him on another show after this. It's great, but I'm happy. He's my friend, and again, I'm his mom's friend too. Hi, Gina. It's Conner Floyd.
Yo, what's up?
Again, I love that choice of the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, hey, I'm a diehard Beastie Boys fan. My dad got me on them when I was really young, so I'm always trying to find a little way to get a little Beastie in my life, man.
I saw them in concert 3 different times.
No way.
So I'm a little older than you are. Shh. Back in the 90s.
Cool.
Because they were always doing concerts for charities and things and causes. Yeah. They had the Tibetan Freedom Concert. It was in San Francisco at Golden Gate Park. And my friend and I went. It was a 2-day festival that they helped arrange, and they played there both days.
No way.
I get to see them. So I was like, and then I saw them later at another thing they showed up at. So I was, and their you see a documentary that was.
The documentary's great. I don't know if you read their book. Their book's phenomenal too. Yeah, I've never got to see them in concert. That's something that I'm pretty bummed about. But
yeah, I know. But
I got the illness running through me, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, again, the folks documentary is on Apple Plus. It's really good. They talk to even the original girl member. They talk to everybody.
Yeah, they used to be a punk rock band. That's what I freaking love, man. A little punk rock.
Yes, I have their first 12-inch.
Do you?
I actually have it. I bought it back in the day. I still have it.
No way.
They're not on the cover, and it's 4 members and a whole thing. It's like,
what was their name? It was like the Young Adolescents or something like that. The Aborigines, the Young Aborigines.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So it was kind of crazy. So yeah, we did that, but it was good. Well, Billy Flynn. So you got to work with Billy Flynn, who you are replacing on days. I love the Instagram thing you guys did. How amazing was that? I love Billy. I know Billy, love him. I'm just happy to see you guys.
Dude, it was really serendipitous. This whole process has been very serendipitous, and I believe in stuff like that too. So it all feels like it's part of the plan. But yeah, getting to work with Billy was nuts. We saw each other in the hall one day, and it was kind of one of those things where I didn't know if he knew, and I didn't think he thought that I knew that he knew. So we were kind of like, what's up, and it's been great to get to know him. I said in another interview, I wish he would have been around the 4 years I was there. That would have been a good hang, like a good little castmate to have. But he was very helpful in this whole process of just transitioning over there, and gave me the rundown on how things work, schedule, who to hang out with, who to do this and that with. So he was very helpful. He was a good guy to get to work with, and a good new friend to have,
He's a great guy. He's actually really
good.
Because when I talked to you in the beginning, when you started, and you still have the best hair in daytime for a man. Is what you know. Everybody still thinks that. Trust me, they still think that. Good head of hair. How are you feeling about your acting? Because I remember in the beginning you were like, I come from sports and all this stuff. And so since being on this show, how do you feel about your acting these days?
When I booked YNR, I remember my reps were telling me, they go, this is going to be your acting school. Because I didn't go to theater school. I did like a year of acting and film study in college, and then theater growing up a little bit. But they were like, this is if you really, and Peter Bergman said the same thing to me. He goes, this job is what you make it. So if you show up every day, you give it 150%, you're going to come out of this thing a better actor, because it really, really does fine tune your instrument. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I've gotten a little better. I really tried to take my craft and my homework serious, these last 4 years with YNR. I'm still continuing to do that with Days. And I feel like it has, molded my acting out a little bit. I know what to do. I know my lines. I know where I know my mark. I know where my lighting is now. I know how the camera situation works. And so I feel like I got my daytime card now. I got my stripes.
Well, you did. I mean, folks, again, daytime, everybody knows this already. Some of the hardest working actors, just because of how it's set up.
Well,
Um,
cast and crew, man. I don't think a lot of the crew, everyone that involved in the daytime show, I feel like they don't get the love that they deserve because it is such a hefty load that we're doing in a day's work. I got some other actors who are like, oh man, we had a tough day today. I had five freaking pages. I had like one monologue. I'm like, dude,
that's a Tuesday on the
I
set.
can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for that schedule.
Yeah,
But cast same way. Crew same way. They're working their asses off, and I feel like a lot of people don't, get the love they deserve.
yeah. Well, we'll say about the crew. A lot of times they're there before you get there, and they're there after you leave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And speaking of the crew too, man, everything that went into this whole France storyline
Yeah.
with YNR, the sets they built, the costumes they brought in. Every time they were changing out the maze for one of the train cars or a different part of the maze, they were hustling, man. And so, yeah, I feel like there needs to be someone needs to talk about that more about the work that goes into one of these shows.
How was that maze?
It was sick.
I know for a fact the set's smaller than it looks like. I've been to the set, so I know it's smaller.
Dude, it was actually a lot bigger. It took up probably about two different sets, the maze, and so they had a big chunk of it. But yeah, the maze was sick. It was, you'd kind of get lost in it in a way, if you took a wrong turn.
So could you get lost? It looked like it was kind of confusing.
Yeah, it was. You'd take a wrong turn and you'd be like, "Wait, I thought I was on this side of the studio." But no, it was really cool. Everyone went all out for this storyline. It was really cool to have my last little hoorah with this whole thing going on, if you know what I mean.
Well, you died in someone's arms. You died. You died a hero. I mean, that's the guy that. But it was a quick death. So how do you prepare for a death scene like that? Like, what was how you made that choice? Because some folks do over the top, big death. So they do this. Like they tell you it's quick and that's it.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous for this one because I've never died. I've never died like on camera, and so it's like, all right, this is a milestone for me. I gotta really do my homework. I watched a lot of Denzel. I think Denzel dies the best. I think he's got the coolest, like stone cold deaths. Where not a lot's going on, and I felt like that was very chance. He's just kind of like accepting the fate.
Yeah.
And he's not too scared of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I communicated with the director on how they were going to shoot it and what they were thinking, and we came up with that plan. And I hope it played, man.
It played. Well, what I want to talk about actually is now you've had some great co-stars. On a soap, you get the women's. You get all the women's, and you had several. And I just want you to just give me a little something you'll remember of each of them. So I'm gonna name one, and you say, this is what I remember about working with this woman.
Yeah. Well, I gotta start.
I'm gonna tell you the names first.
Give me the names. Okay. Yeah. I was like, please, I might forget one.
Yeah, no, they're all good. So the first one is, of course, Miss Sharon Case.
Sharon, man, it was really fun working with her because she's such a savvy vet. She's been doing this for a while and she knows what she's doing, and she's been nominated for Emmys left and right. And so it was just really cool to pick her brain and develop this relationship between Chance and Sharon, and just kind of chop it up with a vet, with like one of the veterans on the show, and kind of take our relationship to the next level and really develop this thing. She's a sweetheart. She's so nice. She's so bubbly, and like you come on set and I'd have a bad day and she'd kind of spin it and be like, but it's okay. Everything's fine, man. You look where we are. We're making, a television show and we're acting for a living. And so, yeah, she's just a great person overall, phenomenal actress. And I cherish those Sharon and Chance days, man.
Yeah, that started in the back of the. We didn't know there was a back.
Yeah, the back room. Coffee. I didn't
know
that was a room either.
Yeah, we're like, wow, okay, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. We're like,
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Sharon was a lot of fun. That was like a little, the whole fling between it. We kind of played on that because it was fun.
Yeah. Well, so you would say working with her did really help you appreciate more. Like you guys are you get to do this for a living.
Yeah, and I think when Chance and Sharon started, getting together, it was just fun and playful, and they loved each other. I think a lot of my storylines at that time were very dark and depressing. Chance was going through a lot. So it was nice to have this like uplifting storyline that I had.
Yeah, that's very good. Um, Jess Walton.
Jess Walton. Man, I wish I would have got to work with her a lot more. It was very vague. She's a rock star,
Yes.
very, very welcoming. I remember, man, like one of my first days where I got to really work with all the OGs. It was Chance's welcome back party.
Yes.
And I was meeting all these people for the first time too. And I had a really big, like a 2-pager, like a monologue or something, just kind of saying thank you and introducing myself to everyone. Um, and yeah, she just had the nicest things to say all the time. Like I said, she's one of those savvy vets as well. Everyone loves her, and just pick her brain and be in a scene with her and be part of her family. It was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I mentioned Trisha Cast. Then, and speaking of,
Yeah, and that's another one. I wish I would have got a little bit more time with her as well, man. She always came in at like random times too, where Chance was like in the hospital bed, and I didn't really get to even have much dialogue with her. But she's a rock star and a sweetheart as well, man. I cannot wait to see Nina's reaction to Chance
oh
dying.
my god,
Yeah, they better film that. They better do that on screen.
yes, no, we're excited about that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that'll be cool. I think
I'm talking about another.
she's a phenomenal actress too, and I think she'll really, really bring it. She loved the hell out of Chance, and so I think that'll be a tearjerker for sure.
That's for sure. Melissa Ordway.
Ordway. See, I was going to start with Ordway. She's my number one. You know, she was such a good friend to me when I first got there.
Oh, good.
First person I met, first person I worked with. She kind of showed me the ropes and, kind of what Billy did for me. He just kind of showed me the lay of the land and how things work. Anytime we were at like a party, I don't really know anybody, but she'd like, come on over here, man. Meet Conner. This is Conner. She's so sweet, and she's such a great actress as well. And I will miss her, and she'll always be my first TV wife. I'll tell you what.
Yes, your first TV wife. Always.
First. I can't forget her.
Yeah, you'll never get your first. Never get your first at all. How important is having a cast member who's been on there for a while actually help you kind of introduce you into that world you're about to play in? I mean,
That's cool, especially with the soaps because they move so fast, and so it's kind of like you show up and it's like, okay, swim, dude. Here's the deep end. You better swim. Right. And so to have somebody that's this is second nature to them, it's great. Melissa had been there for a long time too. So when I got there, she was kind of like, this is how it works. You got the camera set up, the lighting, that's all stuff that I didn't really know. And so you get there and you got to figure it out or you're causing a delay. And, that's never good on shows like that. And so having somebody that knows the ropes and that you're friendly with and can be like, hey, you're blocking my light, just lean back a little bit. And so the director doesn't yell at you or anything like that. It's like, okay, yeah, great. Very, very helpful. I'll tell you what.
What have you learned? I have a couple of people too. We'll get there in a second, but I'm just curious because she was your first TV wife and everything. What have you learned about those intimate scenes, whether it's kissing or bed scenes? What is something that you we all know it's faked.
Yeah.
But
just
what did you learn about that?
I think it's just getting on the same page with everybody. Making sure everybody's comfortable and really understanding what we're doing in the shot and what we're trying to tell and just being on the same page, really. I think that's key for those scenes.
Did it get easier for you or?
No, I mean, they're always, there's really no way around the awkwardness. I feel like it's like, hey,
Yeah.
No. But I would just say, everyone's super professional. And so make sure everybody's understanding what's happening, what needs to be accomplished here, and just make sure everybody's comfortable.
Now, one of my favorite relationships that was budding and that I kind of liked on there was Allison Laner and you. Mm-hmm. Summer. Because it was different. It was different than the others. Yeah. And there was a little bit of friendship in there too at the same time because she was going through all that stuff. So how's it working with Allison?
That was cool. That was a really fun one to build because we kind of built it from scratch on our own. When I got on the show, Melissa or Abby and Chance already had their relationship, so I was kind of stepping into this thing. Sharon and Chance kind of already had a relationship. I was also, but we got to play with that. With Allison and I, we really got to just build that from scratch and make it our own. She's amazing. I love her. I miss her dearly, and yeah, she was just a light to work with. It felt easy. We had an easy kind of back and forth in real life, and so like you said, we found that friendship first, and then kind of developed it into a relationship or something more. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm sad that ended. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so a couple of the guys
Oh,
worked with. One, Brighton James,
right, man. He's a rock star as well.
legend. I mean, on the show.
Very, very similar to Melissa. When I first got on there, it was me, him, and Abby and Melissa a lot. That those were my scenes. It was me, him,
Yeah.
and Melissa. And so he was kind of like that guy that I could go to and be like, "Hey, man, how does this work?" And like, he's a pro too. He's been doing this forever, and so he knows that show like the back of his hand. And so he was kind of my father figure on the show for a while, just being like, hey, how should I go about this, or how should I handle this situation? I'm confused about this. He knows all the backstories too, so I'd be like, who the hell is this person? And they, oh yeah, I got you. Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, he's just a vault of information. Yeah, awesome to work with, good to hang. Miss him a lot too.
That's cool.
I wish they would have explored the Chance and Devon a little bit more and have us.
Yeah.
You know?
We would have loved it. It'd been fun, but it was.
Yeah, all right. That's daytime stuff right there,
Right.
man. That's
It
just
is.
fun
It was
time.
interesting though. You guys are like kind of from the same big family.
Yeah,
And
we
it
squashed the beef pretty quick. I feel like.
was Jason Thompson, your TV uncle.
JT, man, he's the coolest dude out there. It was an honor getting to work with him. I loved all that business stuff that we did for Chancellor. That was fun. Chance got a little ballsy there and was calling his shots and asking
I
for
know.
COO and CEO positions and stuff. And so it was cool to get to work with Jason. My Carly's my fiance, her mom is like a diehard General Hospital, and so yeah, she loves JT, and so she loved getting to see me do scenes with her. That was fun. Yeah, he's an overall great dude. Learned a lot from him. Got to pick his brain a lot. Yeah.
So I mean, doing the show, and for a longest time you were a detective, I guess a cop detective, because you did the corporate stuff for a minute. But has it taught you anything about real life? Has it just showed you some insight or anything about real life detectives?
Yeah, especially Chance, man. The biggest thing I think I learned from him is patience. Because, this guy's just cool as a cucumber in a bowl of hot sauce. That's a Beastie Boys quote, by the way.
It is. I know it is. I know it is.
Callback. But yeah, just cool as ice, man. And there was a lot of scenes where it's daytime. The stakes are really high in some of these scenes, and as an actor, you want to I want to get mad, man, and I want to scream at Devon, and I want to scream at Abby, and I want to get pissed because that's it's easy to go to and it's fun. And a lot of the times, the directors would be like, we'd rehearse, and then they'd be like, all right, dude, Chance, you're stone cold killer, man. Like nothing affects him. You got to have patience. You got to be cool about this. You got to be in control of your emotions. And that's something that I try to work on, on a daily basis. It's, something that I implement on my daily lessons and stuff. And so Chance was a good, avenue to work on that, where it's like, these people are just screwing him left and right and left, after he tries to help them. And, I'm related to this guy and so it's just like one thing after another, but he just keeps his cool and he keeps on trucking on. He worries about himself and he focuses on what he can't control. And that's stuff that I literally say every day to myself or write down or say out loud or, put on a sticky, put it on the mirror. And so, yeah, I know that's probably a huge factor in the detective world and like the law enforcement world. You got to have patience because, who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, that's probably the biggest lesson I learned from Chance, I think.
That makes sense because you had to be very stone faced while everybody else is emoting around you. As an actor, it's a great thing too. As an actor, you have to learn how to like kind of let them scream at you.
Yeah, and like as an actor too, less is more. You know, you hear that all the time, and so it's just like it's getting out of your comfort zone and getting out of your shoes and really trying to get in this state of mind of this person you're portraying.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I mean, I just think I'm very happy for you in real life and in real life, both of those, of course. Congratulations on your engagement, of course. And I'm just so I talked about that before, but I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you.
And what's going on for you, Mr. Conner? Are they still spelling your name wrong in places?
Yeah, they are, man. That's my parents' fault. It's like left and right. I think Connor's just supposed to be with the no. You know what? I used to tell my Spanish teacher this when I was in high school because she'd say Connor, you know, with like she had a real thick Spanish accent. She'd say Connor. I'm like, no, I'm Conner. Conner. That's how you get it right. So I'm not I'm. So don't forget it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you, my friend, very much for doing this, and thank you for your time on Young and the Restless. We're excited to see what happens on days and everything else, and like I said, your engagement, everything. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you. I appreciate all the love, man. You have nothing but kind things to say. So thanks for being kind and thanks for enjoying everything.
It was my pleasure, folks. Conner Floyd with an E. He is out there. Thanks for coming on to Hollywood to our mini spotlight here for YNR. Follow us everywhere, of course. We're all over the place on social media, and we're on all the streaming service platforms. So share this interview wherever you want to share it to. You want to see him, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
See you, James.